Another beautiful day on this learning platform. Welcome! In this video, I will discuss how a billion-dollar solar plant is now worth $0. Make sure to watch this video till the end. Let's get started. A solar thermal energy facility is another method of using the sun to generate electricity. So one business decided to truly construct a sizable power plant, precisely in this manner, in Nevada's high wilderness. Sadly, the crescent-tuned solar thermal facility in Nevada failed not long after it began operating. What took place? Was it just a bad idea? Or was there a timing issue? Or was there another technology-related component that we could learn from? In this video, we decided to go deeper into this epic failure. It turns out that the startup energy venture Solar Reserve, which was funded by a few renewable energy investment organizations and received a sizable boost from the US government, did not quite achieve what was anticipated. We'll get that as a genuinely remarkable development in energy production and storage. The identification initiative was a concentrated solar power plant with a central receiver tower and cutting-edge molten salt energy storage technology, not just another concept from a solar farm. What precisely distinguishes this type of power facility then? Do you recall using a magnifying glass as a child to attempt to burn ants on things like a wooden fence? That's basically the concept then. 200 miles northwest of Las Vegas is where the Crescent Dunes facility was. It had more than 10,000 heliostats, or motorized moving screens. The entire solar field aperture adds up to about 12 million square feet, and each heliostat is made up of 6 feet by 6 feet mirrors facets, giving each heliostat a total unstable area of 1,200 feet. Each of these mirrors is precisely adjusted to balance the sun rays so that they strike the exact location on top of the tower holding the molten salt solution at an angle determined by mathematics. The total temperature of the concentrated solar radiation can exceed 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Concentrated solar power systems have an efficiency of between 30 to 40 compared to a PV farm's 20, and are capable of producing tens to hundreds of megawatts of electricity. Crescent Dunes' 110 megawatts installed capacity was impressive, but what distinguishes these systems from conventional photovoltaic farms is that they also have methods for storing the energy. They generate power rather than turning solar energy into it. The 640-foot tall center tower of CSPS transforms solar energy into thermal energy that can be stored in a molten salt core. After melting, the salt is transferred to a holding tank where it is used to create steam. The steam powers turbines, which generate energy so that people in Las Vegas can play the slots for hours on end. When the sun sets, the plant continues to generate energy well into the night. It is such a game changer that it can be cycled back from the reheater to the recipient after being used. In truth, it is debatable whether you would ever need peaker power plants, given that you wouldn't require any additional energy sources until perhaps 2 in the morning. The U.S. Department of Energy fully backed up the Crest and Sand project because it seemed so promising, including some cash supporting totaling more than $500 million. At first, it was anticipated that the plant would generate more than 480,000 megawatt hours of electricity yearly, or more than 40,000 megawatt hours per month. Construction delays started outsetting deadlines by several months, and by the end of the time, it was fully operational in September 2015. This had happened. The molten salt storage system dam leak forced the facility to stop operating after only 8 months of operation. Basically, hot magma abilities are like a food of liquid, not even decent. By the end, everything was resolved by 2018. The average capacity was only about 20, as opposed to the initial estimate of 50%. Only about half of the company's initial output targets were met at its absolute peak in production in May 2019. And after only about 9 months of consistent outages and equipment breakdowns, the Nevada plant was sold to another company, Energy, to withdraw from the agreement, informing regulations that the project presented the greatest risk to its ability to meet the objectives of its renewable energy portfolio by the end of 2019. The operation of the scheme was formally ended. What specifically went wrong with the Crescent Dunes power plant? And does this mean that those who oppose green energy projects were correct along that it's not truly possible? This is a common issue that many individuals deal with. People do not realize how fast adoption curves ramp up when they think about them. Why close it down if it's already been constructed? It wouldn't stop producing electricity, would it? What a wonderful topic. The cost is the primary factor in why it no longer makes logic. To operate at a profit, you would have to sell the energy. Consider hiring teams of repair personnel to clean the mirrors, grease the motors' joints and other moving parts, and handle the molten salt tank. All of these tanks would be expensive. You have to be able to pay them. If you want to be able to pay the salaries of the 5,000, 2,000, or however many other employees who work at that plant, the only way to do that is to sell whatever you create for the same amount of money in order to make a profit. They spent $1 billion in the desert with these mirrors, and they can't even run it because that number was roughly 4 times higher than a conventional solar panel farm. Because it would cost them money to switch it on, they can't. The saddest thing about this is that investors tested it and out and give it a shot. I adore everything about it, but I also believe that this is a good warning sign for all of the investors out there. Do you still recall the acceptance S-curve? You must keep that in mind, just like the acceptance of battery technology for electric vehicles. Adoption won't follow some gradual trajectory. After a sluggish start, it will quickly pick up speed in an S-curve pattern. The aspect of technology upheaval that almost everyone can understand is this. Wrong individuals claim that by 2040 EV sales may account for half of all auto sales. Absolutely incorrect. The price of solar has dropped so much that if you go back in time and think, okay, if you want to make 40 megawatt hour plant, that would have cost $80 billion in a photovoltaic panels to build a farm of comparable size, but today it's only 12 billion, almost at 8 times reduction in price, and that's what caused them so much trouble. Newer, less established technologies like CSP now find it much tougher to compete. But by the end of this operating life, Crescent Dune now was coasting Nevada Energy. The cost per kilowatt hour is $135. Compare that to approximately $30 per megawatt hour offered by a solar field situated in Nevada's same region. Simply put, it didn't make sense financially. Fundamentally, this came down to a scale problem. One photovoltaic panel makes sense, and if you put 10 of them on a customer's roof, that's fine. But how are we going to use these panels to construct a plant that can generate 40,000 megawatt hours? The assumption was the scaling up would simply be too expensive. In 2010, this was somewhat accurate, but no one again noticed the price drop problem. This is one of the additional engineering challenges, along with scale comprehension. If you want to share your opinion, comment down below. And if you have not yet already, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for daily interesting and helpful contents. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.